Welcome to the Whiskey After Work podcast. This is where booze meets business. I'm Doug Shaw, owner of Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors.
And I'm Melissa Hergert, owner of Brain Train Centers.
We are serial entrepreneurs that love to learn from other successful professionals and love to drink whiskey.
Hello, Douglas.
Hello, Melissa.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. Did you have a nice 4th of July?
I did. Kind of ducked out on the fireworks because it was raining, but
Yeah.
other than that, I had a good 4th.
Did you make delicious barbecue?
Oh, God, we did, yeah. We made.
Why didn't I get an invite, by the way?
It was like I had a bunch of people in town, people you don't want to hang out with.
I liked those people.
Well, that's because they paid you.
Oh, true. But I did like them. They gave you shit, and I like that.
Well, yeah, they earned it. They've known me
many years.
a long time.
Many years.
So, welcome to the Whiskey After Work podcast, episode, God.
What are we on? Like
16.
500,000.
16.
Like, are we done yet?
No.
Can we be done doing this?
I was listening to Dave Roberts' podcast, and they're at 275.
Dang.
That's a lot of podcasting.
Yeah.
But today, we are coming to you from the Matt Mason Farmers Insurance Agency because we have yet to find our permanent home.
I know.
We're still
little
sleeping on couches,
now.
so to speak.
We're orphans. We had a great
like, hey, man, you got a
office.
couch I can sleep on?
Yeah.
But no, so Matt let us use his place today, and we may be from here a few times in the coming weeks, months, until we figure this out. Today's episode is going to be...
No.
Today's episode is going to be brought to you by the Matt Mason Agency, Keystone Realty Group, Brain Train Centers, Peach State Business Brokers and Advisors. We'll just go ahead and get the pleasantries out of the way. God knows what's going to be said today, so
I know,
if
I'm
you're
a little
easily
nervous with the
offended,
guest today.
move right on to the next podcast. Anything that you hear today is the opinion of the moron who says it and nobody else.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll dive into this thing head first.
Let's do it.
Today's guest comes to us by way of Warsaw, Indiana, wherever the hell that is. Middle of a cornfield, somewhere up there. He is, like many of the people we have on here, a very entrepreneurial spirit. He's also my neighbor. But that comes with a caveat. We've met, I think, twice. And he's lived there for like 4 years. So,
Right?
not real friendly, I guess. I'm not real friendly, I guess.
You did
I got
not
some
do a
jerk.
good welcome.
He's an interesting guy. I'm going to kind of let him explain all this stuff, but he's in the RV business when I met him, and that's what I remembered about him. And he started a couple businesses on his own, and I'm going to let him explain who he is and where he's from and how he got here, and then we'll just pick him apart.
Yes.
Does that sound good? So without further ado, here's Ryan Lasuer.
So like you said, from Warsaw, Indiana, the middle of absolute nowhere. That is pretty much all we have is cornfields, RVs, and orthopedics.
Oh, okay.
Warsaw is actually the orthopedic capital of the world, surprisingly.
Oh.
That's all we have going for us. I mean,
Interesting.
started off in the RV industry there, and kind of grew into doing a lot of different things in the dealerships. And I started off on the manufacturing side.
I was going to say, there's a bunch of manufacturers in that area, right?
So about 95% of all RVs come out of Elkhart and Goshen, Indiana. And then we have all the suppliers there. A lot of the suppliers are in like Warsaw and around those areas. But yeah, that's where the majority of everything comes from. So hopefully y'all are campers and like camping.
I do, but
I was going to say, have you ever had one?
Yeah, we've been looking at buying a camper, and it's there's a big difference between quality and campers. Huge. And I watch people spend a lot of money on these huge ass, like 36, 38, 42-foot campers, and they're basically sticks. I mean, they're just absolute garbage, and they're financing these things for $100 and some thousand.
Dang.
The first time they take them out, stuff's falling off of them.
Oh my God,
it's
that's horrible.
Bad.
So that they're built on an assembly line and pushed through, and depending on what plant you buy from, there's definitely not the most highest quality of workers putting them together.
They could put one of those things together, and I could build one in a couple of hours. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so they do. I mean, some of the plants will do 30, 40 a day.
Dang.
Just running down a line.
That's crazy.
But I will tell you, it's probably one of the best places to work. Just with your team and how everything flows, it's very synchronized. Everybody has, their job, and they do their job, and they get out of the way.
Yeah, it's kind of the old, like Henry Ford used to do at the assembly line before all the robotics.
Yeah, yeah, very similar.
Because it's all pretty much by hand, right?
Everything's pretty much by hand. I mean, you'll have some of the cranes that lift the sidewalls and stuff on, but everything's built by hand for them.
Dang. Well, you would think it was made well then. I guess not.
They cheap materials
Cheap
and
material.
cheap, it just...
Well, it could be a Friday unit.
Yeah.
It could be a Friday unit.
What does that mean?
Puff, puff, pass.
Yeah,
Oh.
Friday is everybody's trying to get out there, so everything gets shipped. It don't matter what's wrong with it. Front of cap's missing, cool, send it. Let them fix it at the
God.
dealership.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to ask, which ones are the best built?
The one you don't buy. No. There are a lot of good brands out there. Rockwood's a really good travel trailer, I'll say. Van Lee was building RVs for a while, and they're over from Alabama. They did an excellent product, but they just pulled out of fifth wheels. They only do motorhomes now, so they're a very well put together motorhome. When it comes to fifth wheels, I would probably say it would have to be the Riverstones, the Forest River Riverstones.
Okay.
By far, probably the best built and the best designs. They actually, if you look at a lot of the old campers, they look horrible. They use these horrible colors, and they were designed by guys pretty much, and we didn't do the best color choices. They hired these new designers to come in, and they modernized the camper, made them a lot more efficient and more usable. You didn't have as much dead space, so they've came very far and advanced with their new units that they're putting out. What hasn't been done in a long time.
What about Gulfstream? Did somebody buy them?
It's still owned by the same guy. They went really downhill.
Yeah, they don't look like they used to. Like the old
No.
Gulfstreams are like premium. People still pay top dollar for them. You know what a Gulfstream looks like?
No.
They're shiny.
Doug, I don't.
They
I
look
think
like
I've been in an
stainless.
RV
They look
one
like
time.
stainless steel.
Like one time.
Oh yeah.
Once only.
Okay.
You've been in one RV ever?
One
Yeah,
RV.
it was actually Tana's. Yeah, my business partner in San Diego, they take their RVs up to Camp Pendleton on Memorial Day and camp out there.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So I've been there one time.
So you're slapping together these RVs.
Like, so she doesn't know
Yes,
shit about
yes.
this shit.
No, we're used to it.
I don't know shit about anything.
I mean, was it a good experience? though?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean,
question.
we had fun on the beach drinking and
Oh yeah, RV on
celebrating.
the beach. That does sound fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few places you can do it. You can still do that up in North Carolina, South Carolina, just depending on where you're at.
Like
There's
Yeah.
some dry
Outer
lawn
Banks.
beaches. Yeah.
That was cool. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. If you get one with a generator, you got power, you're good to go. You don't have to leave.
We had generator,
Nice.
barbecue, yeah.
Beer,
beer, of course,
Oh, okay.
whiskey.
whiskey, that's
Tequila.
better. I like tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Tequila's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were putting them together up there. It was very exciting. It's some of the most synchronized stuff you'll ever see, and it's a real team. The team you have, whatever department you're in, it's you work together. It's probably hands down one of the best experiences team-wise I've ever had. So one of my main jobs there was we built the sidewalls. Well, we'd get done really early. Our department, we actually got in trouble because we left too early. Like, you're not paid hourly. We're paid piece rate. So the faster you get in, faster you get out,
Oh.
you're good. The more money you make because you're paid just by how many walls you do. So we were always in and out quick. We'd come in at 3 a.m. The moment they would open the doors, we'd be there. We'd be out by 9 o'clock.
Wow.
We'd do our couple hours, get in, get out before the sun was up, and be at home fishing, whatever. And we got in trouble for that. The other departments didn't like it that we came in early and got our jobs done, and they didn't. Their team didn't do it, and so we got in trouble for that. So, but anyways, after that, I would go work in all different parts of the plants, like all of the plants, because we had the central hub was plant 23. That's where we built all the walls and stuff like that. From there, all the other plants put the units together.
That's good.
So I would go, when I got off, I would just go work more. You know, I never wanted to stop. You know, once I figured out how their overtime worked, because I got paid like piece rate plus overtime plus like something else, like a bonus, whatever. I was like, oh, this is great. Why wouldn't you guys work over? I'm like, I'm making like $80 an hour just doing stupid stuff. And I was literally putting foam around door and like edges for like $80 an hour. I was like, I can't beat this. So it was really fun. And then of course I, you know, ventured down here to Georgia. My daughter was born down here, so they don't build RVs down here. So I came down to Georgia, and I've seen RV dealerships, and I was like, you know, let's give this a try. So went into the first place. It was a Camping World, and I was like, hey, I want to talk to the guy who runs the place. And they're like, well, who are you with? And I'm like, I'm with Keystone. And just threw that out there because I was still working there at the time. I hadn't moved yet. And they took me back to talk to him. And he's like, well, what do you do for Keystone? I was like, actually, I'm leaving Keystone. I was like, I'm coming down here, and I want a job. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a tech or in sales? I was like, where can I make the most money? So he put me in sales. And I was there for about 2 months as their top salesperson those 2 months. I got in trouble because I didn't like shadow people like I was supposed to. I was like, no, let's go. I was like, I know how to sell stuff. I was like, you don't have to show me.
Right.
Being a salesperson, there's techniques that you can teach, but if you're not built to be a salesperson, very seldom are you successful at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn the techniques and that'll help you, but if you don't have that constitution, if you don't, you know,
it takes a special person to do.
It's got that right personality and everything. Yeah.
My first sales job was selling seashells at the beach.
She sells seashells down
to
by
tourists.
the seashore.
You sold seashells that they could go out on the beach and find themselves.
Exactly.
I love it.
I know. That was my first job at 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Were you successful with it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It wasn't my own business, but I would ride. I've told you this. I would ride an hour and a half to my job every day on the bus and then go work. And
so what beach was this?
Mission Beach in San Diego.
Okay.
Belmont Park.
San Diego explains it. That's why they'd pay for seashells that are like laying around.
Tourists are dumb.
Yeah. So you only sold for 2 months?
So I was there, and the general manager was a very interesting person. Still happens to be there to this day. He liked to belittle people, and I never had any bad instances with him, but I would watch how he treated the other employees and the things that he would do, and I wasn't a big fan of it. And my first customer I'd sold owned a rental company. Well, he dealt with a few of the dealerships. So he also dealt with open roads at the time. And he talked to Sam, who was there, the general manager, and he's like, hey, you need to talk to this kid down here. He's awesome. He comes in from the factories. You got to talk to him. So he puts us in contact. And funny thing was, when I originally came down here, I interviewed with them. And I just came a lot sooner than I was supposed to. I was supposed to come back and talk to him, so I just went to Camping World instead of there. And he's like, yeah, I told you could have a job. I told you could have, whatever desk you want. What do you want to do? And so I got tired of, just how people were being treated there, and I parted ways with them. And it blew up over a big deal. It was a famous musician came in. He works with a lot of the top bands, and he was willing to buy one of our units. And he had his checkbook out. He was going to look at another unit, But I talked him into buying ours. I'm like, hey, here's why
And
ours
how
is
much
better.
was this unit?
It's a $150,000 toy hauler. And so he was all set to buy it, had the checkbook out. He made us an offer that was very fair. It was a couple of $1,000s under. And they turned him down. And, of course, he just got off tour. He just pulled up in a brand new Escalade. They just went and picked it up because he got off tour. He has his checkbook out right, and he's showing me pictures where him and his friends shut down a racetrack to race their Ferraris and Lamborghinis for the day.
Jeez.
But he's in there in some basketball shorts, a tore up shirt, some flip flops. You would think this guy, just didn't, you would never suspect that he has millions of dollars. And of course, that's what they said. They're like, look at him. He couldn't afford this thing.
Dang.
I'm like, he has his checkbook out ready to buy it. Like, let's go. And so they didn't do the deal. The lady came back, our BDC agent came back the next day, and I was good friends with. So she kind of pulled the deal up and looked at the deal. She's like, we were making like $40,000 on this deal. Why did they tell this guy no? I was like, he only asked for like $3-4 grand off. And then the GM comes in, and they pull me up there, and they try blaming it on me. And I'm like, he had his checkbook out ready to buy. I was like, you guys wouldn't give him the money off. They're like, well, can you get him back in here? And I was like, no, he went to the other dealership and bought. He's there right now buying. And they blew up on me, and then that's when I had called Sam at Open Roads, and I was like, hey, I'm ready to make a move. And so I handed in my keys and parted ways with them and went to Open Roads. And it was probably one of the best things I could have done, because I grew my career so much more at Open Roads. So went into sales there, became the number 1 Winnebago salesperson in the nation for 2 years in a row. And like, we had such a great thing built there. Then, we expanded, opened new stores and stuff like that. I ended up going into finance, did really well with finance, and then they ended up giving me a store. Turned things around at that store, made it a very profitable store. Was doing really good with it, and I think it's kind of where I fell in love with like RVs and like the dealership and how to run a dealership and all the different aspects of it. And I was all up to that point, it was really all self-taught. It wasn't, I hadn't taken any classes for any of this.
Well, yeah,
stuff.
because I think you said you weren't the most well-behaved kid.
No, I was not. I was a troubled youth for sure. I had gotten a lot of trouble when I was a kid, and kind of went on a little adventure for a few years and learned my lesson. And it was never something that it's never. I would never take it back. I would never take back any of the stuff I did, because it taught me so much. I think there's learning lessons in life, and that was one of the biggest ones for me. And I think it made me a better person today, because I had done, I had my stupid kid moment. I was 18, 19 years old, ended up going to jail, got in some trouble. And it was one of the best life lessons I think I could have ever had.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recommend everybody take that path, but I mean...
No. Yes, not
But if you could
condoning
learn
it.
from it...
But if you learn from it and you can
and
go on and be
change your
successful,
ways.
I mean, that gives a lot of other people a lot of hope. And,
Yeah.
it's... Look, none of us are perfect, and never
never-
went to jail, but I certainly probably could have for some of the shit I did when
You
I was
ever been to
younger.
jail?
Overnight, yeah. But
You have?
Yeah. These things happen.
You want to know what I tell people? You want to know the difference? Because you get a lot of these uppity people, and they look at you because you've gotten in trouble, and they're just like, no. I'm like, you want to know the difference between me and you? You've drank an alcoholic drink and drove home.
Yeah.
Guess what? You broke the law no different than I did.
True.
Yeah, you just got
Just
caught.
You didn't
get
get caught. I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
difference.
True.
It's, there's a million ways that people have gotten. Everybody's done something,
Right.
especially
Oh,
as
yeah.
a kid.
True.
True.
We just didn't have cell phones to...
Yeah, there wasn't as many cameras.
Exactly. That's
Nobody
right.
was there recording it and said, hey, I'm going to put this shit on the internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Nowadays, there's a camera everywhere. Yeah, you're going to jail for sure.
Right?
So So you did the whole general manager thing. You ran these locations and that, but that's not what you're doing now. So how did this all come about?
So I had parted ways with Open Roads. It wasn't a bad split. I was offered a position to run multiple stores for Travel Camp, another big RV dealership here in the South. And so, they were going to give me 4 stores, a lot more money, just a lot more growth within the industry. So to me, that was worth seeing what it was about. And I had a lot of training from Open Roads as a general manager. I did a automotive class out in Kansas City, a GM executive program, and it goes in depth on how to run a dealership, like the numbers, the metrics on how everything, you can tweak this over here and it's going to give you a big return over here, and just in-depth stuff. And it fascinated me, and I loved it. And of course, I used it, and, we made Open Roads. Open Roads is very successful. I mean, even if you look at them today, they're a very successful company. Drew's done very well with that company. But I wanted to grow more as with who I am. And so I took on those 4 stores, and kind of the same thing, went in, and it wasn't, the stores were successful, but they had a lot of growth to get to, and we built them up. We went in, we found new team members. You take out, the bad and you fix it, and you bring in the good, and you grow them and see where that goes. So I was there for about a year, and they had made some promises that they didn't kind of uphold. And I'm very big on, if I do what I say I'm going to do, and you don't do what you say you're going to do, then I'm out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in the company, and I don't believe in it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to believe in it. I love the RV industry, and it'll always be a huge part of me. But if you don't do what you say you're going to do, then I'm not going to continue to, be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, in January, we went ahead and parted ways. And in my mind, I wanted to take a few months off. I had been working for years. I didn't take vacations. I didn't take a day off. I had my normal set days off, but I'd even come into work on those days. I just really never vacationed. So I was like, I'm going to take at least 30 days off. And 30 ended up to being 60. 60, it was 90. And then I ended up taking like 4 months off.
Nice.
But in that time, within a week, I'm sitting at my house just bored out of my mind. And, I was like, I'm just going to start my own business and not go back to this. And one of our biggest expenses in the dealership was advertising. I mean, we would spend, just one of my Travel Camp stores, I was spending $60+ grand a month just in advertising.
Jeez.
God dang.
And it was crazy. And the cost of our leads that we were getting, our leads were horrible. And the cost of them were hundreds of dollars a lead. We were easy, probably $500-$600 a lead sometimes.
No.
And the marketing people, they don't really listen. They kind of think that they know how to market and they're the best in the world, and there's only one way to do it. And so I would give them suggestions, and I would help them. I'd help them boost in the areas that we could boost. But I knew there was a way to get leads much cheaper than what we could at a dealership. So I started only sales leads. And my goal wasn't really to target the dealerships, because the dealership's fine. There's 3,000 something RV dealerships across the country, but there's even more salespeople. And if you look at the dealerships, you have, like you said, it's a certain person to be a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You have the salespeople who are driven and want to sell, and then you have the people there who are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, don't want to do nothing, don't want to try, they don't want to put forth the effort. And I was like, okay, well, how can I accommodate that and accommodate the people who are the hustlers who really want to make the money? And I was like, I want to target the salespeople. I don't want to target the businesses.
That's pretty. That's pretty different approach.
Mm-hmm.
It is, because everybody targets the dealerships. Nobody
Yeah.
targets the salesperson. So I'm like, if I could find a way to bring them leads at a much cheaper cost, and it's more efficient for them, then I can sell the leads to them. I could, get them a lead at a very small cost, and their upside to it is tremendous.
Yeah.
They're making hundreds, thousands of dollars per vehicle that they sell, and my leads cost, they're $5 a month, per lead, or $5
Good.
per lead. It's $35 a month to
Right.
get into the area.
Right.
But it's like you can't beat it. You spend spend $20 and you get a good bit of, or spend $100 and get a good bit of leads and call those people, and you sell one of them, you make your money back tenfold.
Yeah, and you're not beholden to the dealership for their leads too.
100%.
Right.
And that was the issue, was the dealerships weren't marketing properly. And what I say by that was, at just say one of our locations, we would get 100 leads a month. I myself can pull in 100 leads in less than probably 4 hours.
Jeez.
Once I ramped everything up one time, because it's very expensive. So I did it to test the waters to see how much I could pull in. I could pull in probably 3,000 to 5,000 leads a day.
Jesus.
But it's very expensive. So we'll get to that point. We're building it up at this point, getting the user base built up. We're about to run some big programs here soon, incentivizing people to use our program. So we're going to do, for the first 1,000 members who buy a subscription and buy 3 leads, we're going to do a $10,000 giveaway and 2 $1,000 giveaways for that first 1,000 people. So there's 3 people out of that first 1,000 users is going to get, either $1,000 or $10,000.
Okay.
Then we're going to do a $5,000 draw. Once we hit 5,000 users, we're going to do a $20,000 one and 2 $5,000 participants. So that's out of 5,000 people.
So what type of industries are you targeting right now?
Right now, it's just RV and boats. However, I have the structures in place to handle power sports.
Yeah, because
automotive.
the side-by-sides and stuff now are huge.
Yes. So the goal is to target side-by-sides, motorcycles, the whole power sports industries, motorcycles, automobiles, and real estate is one of the ones I really want to get into.
Oh, yeah.
But I also want to fine-tune it, too. I don't want to bring a system. I know in RV, I know we have it set up right. I know in boats, we have it set up right. But each one of these categories takes special things, like the homes, for instance, real estate leads. There's different information that they need than what the other categories
Yeah, and there's a million people doing it.
Yeah. And
Because in that industry, they target the salespeople.
they do.
Yeah.
And I had no clue that there's 1.5 million realtors in the United States of America.
Yeah, but about 10 of them actually work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you know of any?
Is Kristen one
I
of
could
them?
use
There's a couple. Yeah, now the one selling the one selling the one selling the house across your street does pretty good with houses too. So, yeah, there's there is. I'd say for every 10 quote unquote realtors, there's maybe one that actually really dives in and does their job, and for every 100, there's probably one that actually is really knocking the cover off the ball.
I have a set real estate person. I told this person if I ever sold my house, they would be the one to sell it for me. So Kristen will definitely get my house if it ever goes for sale.
Yeah, we need good neighbors, Kristen. Stay the hell away from this house. So, hey, you know what? I'm looking, and we've been at this for about a half an hour, and I am
let's go to the good
parched.
stuff.
Yes.
So let's take a break and talk about important shit.
Yes.
Alcohol.
Yes.
So, what did you bring with you today?
Johnny Walker Double Black.
So you're a Scotch guy? You like Scotch?
So it's actually interesting how I even got to try this. So we were at an event, or at a city council meeting, and I was talking to a lady that really needed to approve some stuff for us. And she could barely talk. She had I don't know what it is when you lose your voice, like laryngitis or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she could barely talk. And we made the joke, we're like, just drink a little whiskey and you'll be fine. And she's like, bring me some.
True.
And I was like, okay. well, I really need you to do this, so I'll go get you some whiskey. So I went out and bought that and gave it to her. And, well, they made her return it because it was over $5 or $20. They looked at it as a bribe.
Oh,
jeez.
And I was like,
Interesting.
she can barely talk. Like, we made a joke about it, and, it was something that was, no harm, but they didn't like it. So I ended up with a bottle.
Mm.
Well, when I ended up leaving, parting ways with Travel Camp, my service manager came with me. He had told them he would never work for anybody else but me. So he parted ways. So we came and we opened this bottle and we drank it together. And it was the best stuff I've ever had.
Well, we were talking, and so there was the question, Johnny Walker, this is a blended Scotch.
Okay.
Okay, so a blend, she's what?
What?
Oh.
I need someone to put my gum in. What'd you
Something to
keep
put your
going.
gum.
Keep going.
So, so
Just swallow.
No.
Scotch whiskey is literally just whiskey that's made in Scotland, right?
Yeah.
But blended Scotch is, oh my God.
What? Go ahead. I'm listening.
Blended Scotch is Scotch is blended from many different barrels. So like a lot of bourbons and Scotches and that come from one barrel, or they might do a real small batch and they only blend a few barrels. But blended Scotches, they kind of got their thing down, and they can mix a bunch of barrels together to keep the taste real consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know as if I've ever had double black, so I'm not sure what the difference between regular black and double black is, and I'm going to look it up here in a minute so I know.
I can tell you, I haven't had the regular black, but I've had the red recently. And the red is really smooth.
The red's good.
But this is much different than the red.
Yeah, this is supposed to be more
Damn,
intense.
that's a big-ass pour.
The blue is real good, too. The blue's like a couple $100 a bottle.
I used to work at Harrah's Casino, and all this one man used to order was this every single time.
Double black?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once I've had it, I haven't tasted anything else like it. And it's just a very unique taste. Very smooth.
You looking it up?
Yeah, I am, but they're making me put like my birthday in and shit. So, because
Can we drink?
God
before you
yeah,
do all
I don't
that?
give a shit.
Okay, well, cheers. And then we
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little bit smoky too. This is not Melissa's jam. This is medicinal.
Scotch is not my jam.
Well, this is peated.
You're
So you're gonna-
peated.
you're
What the fuck
peated.
does that even mean?
I think we talked about this too before. When they
Did we?
roast the malt, they
Oh.
roast it over fires made from peat, which is nice old dirt and soil, and it picks it up.
Do you know how to drink properly? You know you're supposed to breathe through your nose and your mouth at the same time. Did you know that?
She's fancy over here.
This is what I learned. This is true. Can you keep your phone on silent,
Wow,
please?
my kid keeps calling me.
Is she, maybe you need to answer.
No, I just tell her to text me if
aren't you
it's
supposed to
urgent.
drink it with your pinky out?
Oh, yes.
That's fancy. That's how you do it.
Fancy.
All right. So what does it taste like to you?
I always say that the peaty scotches are medicinal. That's my way of saying I taste a Band-Aid in there.
For real. It does taste like Band-Aid.
It's smoky. I mean,
It
that's,
is good, though.
It is. No, it's.
What's the other scotch we had on one time? Someone brought another scotch last.
Oh God, no!
I didn't like that one at all. I know that. This one's better than that for sure.
Well, the blended ones are usually pretty smooth.
That
too.
one's
They don't
very
have a lot of
smooth,
bite.
actually.
I can't remember what scotch we had on.
I can't either.
It's a long time ago. We got
Or
a lot of
who was it?
episodes.
We have.
So I like some scotches. I like
This
I like
one's good.
Highland scotches.
All right, where does it go on the wheel?
Well, this is a bourbon wheel for one, but
Oh,
so
can't we use it though?
yeah, you kind of can. So I'm trying to get back over to the other side here. So this is going to be more. You'll taste where it says floral. It'll probably be more in the greens, but you'll taste. You definitely taste
Tobacco?
Yep, there you go.
Is that what you're gonna say?
No, tobacco is one of the things you might taste in it. Yeah,
What did you taste? Banana coconut, you weirdo?
banana coconut.
It's there. Look.
I taste the grass, and I taste the smoke, and I
Yeah.
taste the malt.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a little bit of caramel.
I was thinking that
What about you? The woods?
the woods, wood, oak, and smoke.
Yeah. Char.
That's
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about it the most is it has that like the char taste to it a little
Yeah.
bit.
And I think Johnny Walker finishes theirs in old bourbon barrels too. They use charred barrels.
No, this one really isn't bad.
No, it takes you a while to get used to it if you're not used to it.
And it's a different taste than the other ones that I've tried too. I think I've had the green bottle too, and that was pretty smooth.
Yeah, and the red one's the one you see the most of. And regular black, double black's got more flavor to it.
I have to taste that.
A full
red
body
one again.
experience, the electric energy of an imminent storm. Hell, it gives you the whole thing on the website how they make it: malting, drying, fermentation, distillation, maturing, oak casks, 3 years. The casks are one of the most important things that affect the color and flavor of the finished whiskey. An estimated 40 to 70% of the flavor comes from the aging process in the barrel itself, which would be why you're tasting the wood. See?
You're tasting the wood.
I
This
have
is
not
good.
tasted anywhere near as much wood as you.
You're disgusting.
I don't know what you're talking about. You just drink a lot of whiskey.
Exactly.
It's nice to have something different on here for once. Yeah, a little
It is
scotch.
good.
A little scotchy
It is really
scotch
good,
scotch.
actually.
Ron Burgundy?
Yes.
Scotchy scotch scotch. I
Leather
love
bound.
scotch. Scotchy scotch scotch. Here it goes down
Put it in my
belly.
mouth. Oh, those aren't the words.
She's just making shit up as she goes along.
I've seen that movie so many times. I thought those were the words.
Well, that's because it's about the whale's vagina.
It's not. I hate you.
San Diego. It's German for whale's vagina.
I know. Every time I tell anyone I'm from San Diego, they're like, "Oh, Wales vagina." Shut the fuck up. That's not what it means.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Ron Burgundy. And go fuck yourself, San Diego.
That was amazing. Anyways, moving on.
So you're doing only sales leads, and then you got another business too, don't you?
Yes. So I actually just did the LLC this morning for it. It should be going hopefully within the next 30 days. It'll be called Scented Threads. So finally kind of narrowed down the name last night. And it's laundry detergent targeted towards men.
Okay.
Because there's none. Like there's none out there anywhere. And, me being a single guy for such a long time, I don't want like my clothes to smell like lavender fields. I don't want like fresh linen clothing. So I'm like, how can I get this in like a more manly scent, like smoked woods or something just a little bit different.
frankincense and
Well,
myrrh.
no, it's so cedarwood and sandalwood
Yeah.
and bourbon and leather and all these things. Like there really is a push toward men's scents now, and like
Yeah.
soaps and
And dude wipes and
yeah, the dude wipes,
You-
candles.
yeah.
Yes.
A lot of the candles are wood smelling now.
Yep, that's
And nobody has the market. Like nobody has that market whatsoever. So I started digging into it and got with a few people, and we started doing some sampling on some stuff.
nice.
And
Have you met the guys from Atlanta Fragrance yet?
no,
They're a client of mine.
really?
Yeah,
No, I might have to get in touch with them.
Yeah, they're up in I think Cherokee County is where they're located. But
Cool.
yeah, they do scents for companies who are making soaps and all kinds of stuff like
And
that. So
Ooh.
that's all they do is they make the scents to put into the products.
And that's the most
That's
expensive
smart.
part of all of it. Because so some of the ones that I'm doing are they're very tied in with like men's cologne and stuff like that. So you can get like if you have a favorite cologne, you can use that type of soap and it'll smell very similar. But the most expensive part of making it and doing it all breaks down to the scents itself. Like The bottles you can get, ordered in. The soap's not hard to get. It's the fragrance that is the most expensive and the hardest to get.
Well, I got your hookup.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty cool.
need to use that one for sure.
That's a smart idea, yeah. That's cool.
But the goal is and it's not only to target men. I mean, there's a huge push on the women's side as well. Like, I know my mom, my best friend's, wife, they love the scent of men's cologne. Like my mom, she would always wear she loved having men's cologne.
My wife's the same way. She'll go find stuff and, she'll go find stuff and then she'll, for me, and she's always talking about the scents and that. So,
and it's what a lot of people want. It's just there's no options out there. So, we found a way to mix it all together and make it work. And now we're everything's all put together for it. And hopefully within the next 30 days, we should be rolling that out.
That's very cool.
I'd like to see it within the next 2 weeks, but I got to do a bit of
Things
traveling.
take a little time.
Yeah, I got to do some traveling in the next week. So we'll see what all we get done.
Yeah,
It's a cool
let me know.
idea.
I'll try to help you out a little bit.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You're right down the road, so I'll bring you some. You can try it and tell me what you think about it.
All right, I can do that.
And then bring me some.
That's what I've been doing. I've been giving it to everybody and just like, hey, try this.
Why
Tell me
didn't
what
you bring
think.
any?
I didn't think about it.
Who invited him?
I got some shirts.
You?
I got some
Kristen?
shirts. I'll get you guys too. Some
Okay.
Only Sales Leads T-shirts.
Okay.
Yeah,
Totally want one of those.
you should. So it's not the same. So I plan on actually rolling out a whole entire clothing line to tie in with that.
Okay.
But it's not branded.
Oh, okay.
It's not like you won't see Only Sales Leads. You'll see a little signature logo.
Oh.
But the goal is to hopefully turn that into a complete brand.
Cool.
And the design I have is very simple. It's no different than like an Under Armour or something like that.
That's
but
cool.
it won't be branded with it. I don't like logos.
Yeah.
I like jeans and plain T-shirts. If it's got a logo on it, I'm probably not interested. I don't want to buy it. Don't want to wear it.
Yeah. No Harley Davidson
No, that's definitely not me.
cutoffs.
Yeah.
I bought my friend Thane out in San Diego, the one I sent you the picture of,
Yes.
the huge whiskey bottle that bought when he picked me up from the airport. He has a Harley and he gets a Harley shirt from everywhere. So when I was up in Bryson,
Same guy that helped you get kicked out of a Padres game.
Yep. And gave me a concussion because he
Yeah.
fucks around too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very interesting story.
It was fun. No,
No,
I don't really remember
interesting
much of
story.
it. We
I
had
mean,
lots
there's
of whiskey.
many of those.
Yeah, I keep those quiet. Can you shut up? We're focusing on our guest right now. Yeah. So, anyways, laundry detergent sounds great.
So yeah, that's the goal. Obviously, I can evolve that into many different things. But I think that's the main core that I want to target. And I found a way to also do the dryer sheets as well.
Yeah,
so
good.
we'll tie that in as well.
I was telling him, like, in your brain, your olfactory bulb helps with memories.
Oh,
so, like,
yeah.
that's the only sense you have that.
Yeah, because you smell stuff and you boom back to your childhood immediately.
Or like that old boyfriend, like the way they smelled, like
not
colognes.
And one
okay,
of the
maybe
things
not
for
your
you.
old boyfriend, but
One of the things I wanted
Mine.
to target too was it's like, you see these women and, they smell the guy on their sheets. So I'm going to target women on this too, because they smell the guy on their sheets, he's not there. They want their sheets to smell like that person or their significant other or whover it is. So
scare away the other guys from coming around.
I think there's a strong market for
Or
it.
guys that smell like that.
Yeah.
Smart. That's a good tip. What cologne do you use? Just buy them all the same cologne.
Yeah, just use this one.
Just use this one. I got you.
That's what my wife has always liked Drakkar, and I said, "There's a reason you like Drakkar, and I'm not wearing that shit."
Oh, what's her reason? Let me hear.
I have no idea, but
Oh,
she's like,
dang.
"I like Drakkar," and I'm like, "Okay." Somebody else was wearing that, and
When you were 15.
yeah. So
up in
now
those
I am.
sheets.
Now she likes, and you're talking about men's scents. There's a cologne called Moonshine.
Oh.
And it's got a strong, like a cedar wood kind of scent to it. And she She loved it. She smelled it at what's the store? Onward Reserve, I think it's the men's store. I think there's one at Ponce City Market. They're out of Athens, Georgia.
That's cool.
Where the main one is, and she smelled it there, and it's like I got the shave lotion now. I've got
And
the
she
cologne,
loves it.
and it smells great. But yeah, she loves it, and so that's what I wear. Dan.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm a huge scent person. I've got probably 100+
But-
bottles of
but
cologne.
Think back to just some sense that you're talking about going back on memory. Like if I smell like cheap bourbon, okay, like a just regular old Jim Beam or Old Crow or something like that, and it takes me back to when I was a kid. My mom always made, and you guys may have tried the bourbon slush that I make at Christmas time.
No, you didn't invite me for Christmas.
I'll make you some. I
You
give it
never
away
invite
as
me.
gifts. You're the person who used to own your house. She gets a tub of it from me every year, the frozen that bourbon slush. But I remember as a kid smelling that bourbon, that cheap bourbon, and it makes me think about when I was a kid when she'd make that at Christmas and that. So,
Christmas memories, all of it.
yeah, Christmas scents have got to be the most remembered scents. Really.
Yeah, and like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
My Christmas scent was Jim Beam. Reason being, I walked in the kitchen one night. Of course, my mom was making herself a drink, and she said, "Do you want some apple cider?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want some apple cider." I thought she just poured me a glass of apple cider. I thought that's what was sitting on the counter. No, it was a whole cup of Jim Beam.
Oh my!
And I took a big old drink of it. And
His Christmas nightmare.
yeah, that
Merry
was,
Christmas, motherfucker.
yeah. Never have I ever drank that stuff.
We
ever
almost made it through an entire episode
Before I said
without
fuck.
Melissa saying MFer.
Make money, bitches.
Jesus Christ.
I
You know, I've had the opportunity many times to just turn around and walk away, but no.
Not while you're here in this little room recording. You love it. You never walk away from me.
I have. You
No,
just
you
follow,
haven't.
You follow. I stalk.
She's a stalker.
Not at
Yes,
all.
very much
no,
so.
I'm not. No,
She's
I'm
like
not.
outside your house in the bushes.
I think she said to me one time, "You can run, but you can't hide."
Yeah, right. I don't got time for that shit. I'm making money.
So we're talking about all this business and drinking and Beam at Christmas and that, but could we be a little more positive? And you and I never mentioned this to you before. I should have sent you a note and told you.
I told him yesterday.
about charities.
Yes.
So I know you.
You don't want to know his answer when I told him.
His answer was all my spare time is spent with my kid, probably, and that's not a bad answer.
That's a good answer.
Was that his answer?
No, I thought you were talking about charities.
Yeah, well, I thought he probably looked at you saying, I ain't got time for charity. I hang out with my kid when I got spare time.
Well, he was like
Something
pretty
like
much
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
I won't tell on him.
Oh no, I'll say what I said. I
He
said,
said,
I'm
the
the charity.
charity of
Give me the
me."
money.
The
Jeez.
charity
I want
of
people
me.
to donate money to me. I'm trying to be a millionaire. I just need everybody. I just need 1 million people to give me $1, and
There
I'll be
we
good.
go. That's what we all say.
Then he'll give some money away.
Yeah.
And who would you give it to?
Look, we'll all become millionaires. So check this out. If everybody gives me $1, we'll start with me. Everybody give me $1 first, and then I'll give all of y'all $1 when your term comes.
Perfect.
Like, we'll just do it every day.
Oh,
That's
sounds good.
that's called a Ponzi scheme.
I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Just give me mine first, though. Let me get out.
Let's do it.
But no, charity. That's a good question. It's a
I mean,
very-
there's got to be a cause that
You know what I said?
that you
How about
like.
keeping kids out of jail.
Yeah.
Don't do stupid shit. Or at least don't get caught.
I genuinely, I'm a very I like to be very charitable, but I don't like a lot of the organizations.
Sure,
I like to give it directly to the people.
sure.
That's
I would
good.
rather go help people like face to face.
Yeah.
So I'll go to
That's good.
Atlanta, help people. Like I would just rather do it face to face.
Yep.
And the reason is just you hear all these horror stories about these companies that, you go donate the money to them, and then, the CEO's got like 5 private jets and
Yeah.
$15 million homes. And like, I would rather give it to the person one-on-one. I'd rather help that person. I'd rather, the homeless person. And I've done this a million times, especially in the RV industry. And, we'd always, especially in Ackworth, where our dealership was at Open Roads, there was always a person that would stand up on the corner in between the two gas stations. And I would always tell them, walk down here, come into the store, because I'd always see them in the gas station while I'm on my way to work. Come into the store, find me, ask for me, they'll bring you right to me, and we'll change your life. Like, I promise you, your life will change in a way that you'll never imagine. Not once did they ever walk in that door.
A lot of the people that stand at those places, that's their job.
It is.
Literally. Now, we used to, back when we had an NHL team in Atlanta, my wife and I had season tickets, and we, it's 44 games a year, and we missed very few of them.
You're going to say that was back in the 1940s?
No, it wasn't, Melissa.
Because you're old as shit.
Yeah, I am, Melissa, and
know.
you're catching up. Anyhow, 40.
Shut up. It's coming up.
So we, 44 games a year, we were down there a lot. The kids were with us down there a lot, and we'd see a lot of the same homeless people time after time. They were living under the underpasses and stuff, down where all the interstates were, and it's 20 and 75 in that downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
And when it would start to get cold, all year long, I would kind of collect, like if I'd see a jacket or a coat or something on clearance, I'd get them, and we'd kind of keep them in a closet, and we'd get, we might by the end of the year might get 10 or 12 jackets.
Yeah.
And we would go down when the winter, weather started getting cold in the wintertime, and we'd give jackets to the people down there, coats and jackets and that. And I remember this guy, and we'd always see him down there, the same guy, and he was begging at the street, but he lived under the bridge, and so did a lot of other people. And I remember my daughter gave him, it was a Carhartt jacket, so it was like a nice heavy like canvas jacket, and he started crying. And he said, I'm going to give, he had this old kind of tattered coat on. He said, I'm going to give this to my friend who's up there right now. They're sick. So, I remember my kids seeing him crying, and they couldn't believe how happy he was about a winter coat.
Yeah.
And, I think that resonates. I mean, I think that's probably something they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. And, it humbles you, right? It makes you understand, oh, shit. There's people that are really bad off in this world, and when you think that you don't have anything, you've got a lot more than a lot of people do.
For sure. Yeah.
But and then I remember giving a jacket to a guy who was out begging in front of the arena, and he laid it down on the ground and kept begging. He could have given two shits less, and I'm like, that guy probably has a car and probably has a house.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard about those families like that they go up like at Target, and there's a guy playing the violin with the big speaker? It's like pre-recorded, and have you heard of this? It was on the news, and they go from like store to store.
I've seen the people doing it. They've done it down here at the Hiram one.
It's pretend.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're just collecting all kinds of money, and I've heard that even down in Buckhead there'd be like 20 families all living in a big ass mansion down in Buckhead, and they're the same families that bring like their little kids with them begging at the Target and the Marshalls and stuff, and they all live together.
This has been quite a few years ago, but I was in downtown Chicago, and I was taking somebody that I was working with, I was taking them to the Midway Airport to drop them off, and then I was going back and spending a couple more days in Chicago working. And we're coming off an exit ramp, getting close to the airport, and there's this lady, and her car's broken down. She got her kids in the car. Car's broken down, and she is standing there just bawling, and she needs money for the tow truck that's coming.
Yeah.
And the guy that's with me is like, come on, give me some money. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, look, her kids are right there and everything. Give me some money. Give me some money. I'm giving her money too. So I ended up giving some money. And so I drop him off at the airport. And then I'm coming back that way, 30 minutes later or so. And there's a guy from the Chicago Tribune, I think is the name of the newspaper. And he's selling these newspapers because that's back when people would stand out and sell the newspapers. And I pull up to the light, and I said, hey, did the tow truck finally come and get her? And he looks at me and goes, oh, tell me you didn't give her money. And I'm like, what? He goes, she's here 3 days a week.
She's got a whole act down.
Yeah.
Dang.
See, that's one of the things where I love to help. Giving cash is a big no for me.
Yeah.
Like, you want groceries? I'll go buy you groceries.
Yep, exactly.
You want this or that?
Fill your
I'll
gas
go buy it.
tank.
Yeah, like whatever you need. but I don't want to just give cash. Like it's a struggle for me.
Offered a guy one time to take him to go to McDonald's and get him some food,
He said no.
and he said no.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Some will
okay.
even get mad at you.
Yeah, he was mad.
Yeah.
Just give me money.
2 weekends ago, it's funny, where I was at Pond City Market. A lady came up with a backpack, and she just wanted some food. And I'm like, okay, well, Pond City Market just closed. And I was like, well, do you know of any other restaurants right here that are open? She's like, well, there's a pizza place right up here. I said, cool. Meet me at the pizza place. I have to walk over here and grab my car. I'll be there in like 2 minutes. I'll buy you whatever you want. You know, if somebody wants for food, I'll buy that anytime.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we get over there. We run up and grab the car. It maybe took us 5 minutes. So she was walking up to this place. We would have like met right at the same time. We waited in that pizza parking lot for probably 20, 30 minutes. Never showed. And it was a block away. And I was like, you know, this is what I don't like. I don't trust it. Like, I want to help people, but it's like I want to help people who need help.
Yeah.
I don't want to help people who are just trying to take advantage of the situation.
It's true.
Yep.
True.
It is.
I helped a scammer yesterday.
You did.
He knows. I was trying to buy this new couch off of OfferUp, and I never use OfferUp. And I get on, and I'm like, oh my God, what a great deal. It's like this recliner couch thingy, because my couch is broken. It's all jacked. So I was like, let me do this. So I messaged. She's like, yeah, it's still available. I was like, cool. I could come up when my friend brings his trailer, and we could go at like 6. And she's like, okay, I'm holding it for you, but you have to pay half. I know. And
Cash
we have
App?
a whole conversation. We have a whole, on Venmo. We have a whole conversation. I was like, what are the dimensions? She's like, let me ask my husband. Comes back, tells me. Like, whole legit conversation. So that's, and you know, I usually, like, I know things better than this. I have more street smarts than this. Like, this is so dumb of me. I've never been scammed like this. So we get up there. He grabs the trailer. We get up there. She's not answering. I'm like, where is it at? She gave me the address and everything. I'm like, we're here. Which building is it? It's like a nice apartment complex up in Ackworth. I'm like, damn it. And then I like scroll. So it's a black woman that I'm messaging, and I scroll into the picture, and it's like this white couple in the picture above the couch. I'm like, oh, that's not her couch.
Oh, jeez.
And then she doesn't answer. And then he started messaging her this morning saying, is the couch still available? She's like, yeah, I still have it. And he's like, where are you located? And she's like, oh, we're up in Conyers. So she's like just saying that she's in different locations. Yeah. I'm like, damn it.
Facebook is bad. So I posted yesterday. I was clearing out my garage, and I had a new Tahoe like a year ago. And I was jump starting another car, and it melted the headlight. The jumper cables got too hot and melted it. And I bought a new headlight for it. Well, I never put it on before I traded it in. Well, the headlight was like $800.
Oh.
So I had it sitting in my garage. So
Shoot.
I posted it on Facebook last night. I'm like, I'll just get rid of it, get it out of here. And somebody messaged me. They're like, you know, we made up the price. He's like, I'll pay for shipping. He said, when can you go to do it? I said, I'll go do it tomorrow. So today I went out over to the shipping store, and he's like, well, you know, put it in the box and ship it and get me the routing tracking number. And I'm like, well, at that point, I've paid for it, handed it to the people, and then they give me the tracking number. I can't get that back.
No.
And he wouldn't pay for it beforehand. And I'm like, no, you want me to ship it, and then it's out of my hands. I can't do nothing, and then never pay for it. I was like, yeah, no.
Pay me with PayPal, and then if there's an issue, you can deal with PayPal.
Yeah.
Now, Facebook Marketplace for like locally shopping, I actually like it.
Yeah.
Because I can look at the profile and see, one, if they have any friends in common.
True.
Two, see who they are, if they're real. You know,
Yes.
if you don't have like pictures of you and your family on there.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm not doing it.
I bought a legit couch today, by the way.
Yeah, it cost you 1.5 times a day.
Yes.
Well, you offered up your money yesterday.
I know. Shut up. I'm gonna get it back. I messaged her. You're a horrible human being. Give me my money back.
I want to give Ryan a chance to tell people where to find him.
Okay.
I know where, but I'm going to let him say it. Where can they find you online?
It's onlysalesleads.com.
And I would imagine if they have questions about, say it again, scented threads.
Scented threads.
Yeah, that
So
they can message you through only.
They
sales
can
leads.
message me through there. We'll have a link tied to there. Hopefully by the end of the week, I should have another link tied to there, and we'll have the accounts kind of merged where you can jump from one to the other.
Gotcha. Oh, cool.
This
Yeah,
is cool.
there's a lot of good things coming to it, and there's so much more that hasn't hit there yet. One of the things that we're going to be doing in real estate too, just so everybody knows, is we were going to allow. There's a lot of referral business in the real estate industry, so we are going to allow salespeople to. And I was going to do this in all categories, but this is really going to piss a lot of people off, especially at dealerships. I was going to allow people to post their own leads and price them. And then whenever it sells, they get paid off of it. So same with the referrals. So say you have a home referral and it's out of town and you want half of the deal or whatever it may be, whatever your percentage may be, you can list it and put all the information there and what the person's looking for. And then somebody in that town or somebody in that area can buy that lead directly from you and contact you, and you guys can work the deal out.
That's kind of now you're thinking outside the box.
Now you're thinking.
And one of the things that we do, so my whole thing is driving the cost down. The reason why my leads cost so much less than everybody else is truly because we just market way better. But I multi-sell that thing. So say you're in the car industry and it's an auto lead. Well, I'm not just selling that to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm selling that to insurance companies too, because they're looking for a car. They need insurance as well. So the insurance companies may pay me $5 a lead, and that drives my cost down on that lead. So
Smart.
now I have a lot less in it, so the people can buy it at a way cheaper cost.
So,
Smart
gotcha.
brain.
So, and the same will go with.
I just had an idea that we're going to talk about off the air too.
Okay.
But there's so
Let
much
me
more
in on
coming
it.
to it. There's dealer sections coming to it where we're going to do dealer training as well. Just like the class I did out in NCM, the GM program, I plan on bringing a full dealership program to it, to where we teach salespeople to be finance managers. The normal progression is from sales to finance to sales manager, GSM to a GM. We're going to teach that whole entire course.
Cool.
Smart.
And we're going to teach service manager as well. So we want people to be, you could be in a dealership and be the salesperson and pay for this and get all this training. And then when that next spot comes open at your dealership where finance is open, you can say, hey, I've been trained for this. I know what I'm doing. I know how to, structure a deal and put it together and submit it to banks. And it's something that not a lot of people offer.
That's
That's
very,
very
cool. Don't say the same thing as
All
me.
right. That's awesome.
Good job.
Well, look, thanks for coming on, Ryan. And I want to let everybody know that if you click follow on any of the podcast platforms, send me an email to whiskeyafterworkpodcast@gmail.com. You'll get entered into a drawing to get a bottle of Blanton's and a bottle of 3 Strands wine,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
think I'm going to do 2 separate drawings.
Okay, let's do 2
So there'll be
separate.
2 winners when we hit 100
What are we at right
followers.
now?
70 something, almost
What
80.
in the world?
It's been slow.
What's
Everybody's on
going on?
vacation.
They don't listen to shit?
I guess
On
not.
vacation?
Kids don't want to listen to it.
True. They don't want to.
Mom
Probably
wants-
better not
Mom
to.
wants to listen to wine stuff, but
Yeah, true.
Anyhow,
All right.
with
Cool.
that, I will see everybody
Look, you got one more.
next one.
There we
All
go.
right, there we go. Send me an email.
All right.
All
Cheers.
right, cheers.
Let's finish yours.